In France, farmers continue to pour shit on the cities. Farmers are angry because of rising diesel prices, excessive control, and a taboo on the use of chemicals to kill pests. They promise that this is just the beginning and will soon begin a minimum 5-day blockade of Paris. French farmers are building a hay wall on the highway leading to Paris. They continue to block roads across the country, demanding that the government help them cope with inflation, compete with cheap imports, and earn a living. The protests in France follow similar protests in other European countries, including Germany and Poland. In France, farmers say they don't earn enough and that their business is being ruined by excessive environmental regulations. Some issues, such as competition from cheaper imports and environmental regulations, have frustrated manufacturers in many EU countries. But such a problem as, for example, food price control is specific to France. Pascal Depre, grain farmer. We are especially overwhelmed by regulations that hinder our work and reduce the yield of our products. We call on President Emmanuel Macron to introduce more realistic standards or abolish them altogether. Farmers say government and retail measures to curb inflation have left them unable to meet high costs of energy, fertilizer, and transport. They are also angry about unfair competition in sugar, grain, and meat. The government is trying to resolve the crisis ahead of June elections and the annual Paris Farmers Show at the end of February. The Prime Minister announced the cancellation of the diesel tax hike for farmers. He also offered additional assistance to some groups in the industry. However, trade unions are still calling for the protest to continue. Things aren't much better in Germany. 5,000 tractors and trucks almost paralyzed traffic in the center of Berlin. 10,000 farmers from all over Germany gathered at the Brandenburg Gate. The week-long protest of German farmers has reached its climax. They oppose the government's plans to end tax breaks and diesel subsidies for agricultural machinery that go back 70 years. These plans became known in December. The measures are designed to save budget money. The protests forced the government to make some concessions. In particular, it promised to reduce fuel subsidies gradually, rather than cancel them all at once. The German finance minister addressed the farmers. Christian Lindner, German finance minister: "Right now, I cannot promise you more government assistance from the federal budget, but we can fight together so that you have more freedom and your work is more respected." However, farmers are not satisfied with this answer. Joachim Rückwil, head of the German Farmers Union: "If the government cancels the plan to increase taxes, we will remove tractors from the streets. Until that happens, we will continue to exercise our constitutional right to demonstrate." Meanwhile, farmers believe that they are protesting for the well-being of all Germans. Ludwig Jürgens, farmer from Mecklenburg: "German farmers set the highest standards in the EU. We have the highest standards and therefore we make food of the highest quality. We do not like imported products, the quality of which is less monitored. We demand equal competition." The German government is forced to save money, since the Federal Constitutional Court previously banned spending 60 billion euros from the budget. This money was borrowed during the pandemic, but was not spent. According to the court, the government does not have the right to dispose of them at its own discretion. Eliminating benefits and subsidies for farmers would save 480 million euros a year.